Starbucks cappuccino?
Or to buy a Starbucks cappuccino?
Where 1% goes for third world starving children?
Where 1% goes to the third world starving children?
Is enough to make us feel good.
Is enough to make us feel good.
After outsourcing work and torture.
After outsourcing work and torture.
After the marriage agencies are now outsourcing even our love life, dating.
After the marriage agencies are outsourcing our love life. Marriage agencies are outsourcing our love life. Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
We can see that for a long time.
We can see that for a long time.
We allowed our political engagement also to be outsourced.
We allowed our political engagement also to be outsourced.
We want it back.
We want it back.
We are not communists.
We are not communists.
If communism means the system,
If communism means the system
which collapsed in 1990,
which collapsed in 1990,
remember
that today,
those communists
are
the most efficient, ruthless capitalists.
Ruthless capitalists.
In China today,
we have capitalism,
which is even more dynamic than your American capitalism.
which is even more dynamic than your American capitalism,
But doesn't need democracy.
but doesn't need democracy.
Which means
Which means
when you criticize
when you criticize capitalism,
capitalism, don't allow yourself to be blackmailed.
don't allow yourselves to be blackmailed
That you are against democracy.
that you are against democracy.
The marriage between democracy and capitalism is over.
The marriage between democracy and capitalism is over.
The change is possible.
The change is possible.
How? What do we consider today possible?
What do we consider today possible?
Just follow the media.
Just follow the media.
On the one hand,
On the one hand,
in technology and sexuality,
in technology and sexuality,
everything seems to be possible.
everything seems to be possible.
You can travel to the moon.
You can travel to the moon.
You can become immortal.
You can become immortal
by biogenetics.
by biogenetics.
You can have sex with animals or whatever.
You can have sex with animals or whatever.
But look at the field of society and the economy.
But look at the fields of society and economy.
There, almost anything is considered impossible.
There, almost everything is considered impossible.
You want to raise taxes a little bit for the rich.
You want to raise taxes a little bit for the rich.
They tell you it's impossible.
They tell you it's impossible.
We lose competitivity.
We lose competitivity.
You want more money for healthcare.
You want more money for healthcare.
They tell you impossible, this means totalitarian state.
They tell you impossible. This means totalitarian state.
Isn't it something wrong in the world?
Is something wrong in the world
Where you are promised to be immortal,
where you are promised to be immortal,
but cannot spend a little bit more for healthcare?
but cannot spend a little bit more for healthcare?
Maybe we should set our priorities straight.
Maybe that set our priorities straight here.
We don't want higher standard of living.
We don't want a higher standard of living.
We want better standard of living.
We want a better standard of living.
The only sense in which we are communists
The only sense in which we are communists
is that we care for the commons.
is that we care for the commons.
The commons of nature.
The commons of nature.
The commons of what is privatized by intellectual property.
The commons of what is privatized by intellectual property. equality.
The commons of biogenetics.
The commons of biogenetics.
For this and only for this we should fight.
For this and only for this we should fight.
Communism failed absolutely.
Communism failed absolutely.
But the problems of the commons are here.
But the problems of the commons are here.
They are telling you we are non-American here.
They are telling you we are non-Americans here.
But the conservative fundamentalists who claim they are really American.
But the conservative fundamentalists who claim they are really American
has to be reminded of something.
have to be reminded of something.
What is Christianity?
What is Christianity?
It's the Holy Spirit.
It's the Holy Spirit.
What is the Holy Spirit?
What is the Holy Spirit?
It's an egalitarian community of believers
It's an egalitarian community of believers
who are linked by love for each other
who are linked by love for each other
and who only have their own freedom and responsibility to do it.
and who only have their own freedom and responsibility to do it.
In this sense,
In this sense,
the Holy Spirit is here now,
the Holy Spirit is here now.
and down there on Wall Street,
And down there on Wall Street,
there are pagans who are worshipping blasphemous idols.
there are pagans who are worshiping blasphemous idols.
So all we need is patience.
So all we need is patience.
The only thing I'm afraid of
The only thing I'm afraid of
is that we will someday just go home
is that we will someday just go home
and then we will meet once a year
and then we will meet once a year
drinking beer
drinking beer
and nostalgically remembering
and nostalgically remembering
what a nice time we had here.
what a nice time we had here.
Promise ourselves that this will not be the case.
Promise ourselves that this will not be the case.
We will go on. You know that people often desire something but do not really want it.
You know that people often desire something but do not really want it.
Don't be afraid to really want what you desire.
Don't be afraid